Hey everybody, Drew Rebar, Auditing Reno 911. I appreciate you watching my videos, and here's another one. Recently, KUNR, a reporter named Bert Johnson from Public Radio, funded by the University of Nevada Reno tax dollars, published a story where he said I was violent and I harmed a librarian. Anyways, I'm going to let you listen to his report, and we went on down to KUNR with a couple of other friends that have had some false statements made about them too. And we confronted the general manager of the radio station. Again, this is all publicly funded with your tax dollars. So take a look, see what you think. Are your tax dollars being well used by paying these people at public radio? If you don't think that they're being well used, reach out to the public radio, reach out to the University of Nevada Regents, reach out to the University of Nevada Reno President Brian Sandoval. Anyways, y'all have a great day. Look for all that contact information in the description. I'll post that down there too. Tell me what you think. Leave your comments, like, subscribe, and hit the dinger bell. Have a good one, all.
The Washoe County Library System has canceled its drag story hour over concerns for the safety of its staff. KUNR's Bert Johnson has more.
A librarian was hurt in June when a Republican activist tried to force his way into a drag story hour at the North Valley's library. The injury wasn't serious, but it was an escalation in a years-long campaign to shut down the events. Christopher Daniels has been reading picture books to kids for the last 6 years as Miss Ginger Devine.
If my own parents had taken me to an event like that, regardless if they knew my identity or not, to just say, hey, this is something we believe in and we support this programming, would have done so much for me.
Daniels has been expecting the events to get canceled, but that hasn't made the news any easier to take. Bruce Parks is chair of the Washoe County GOP. Now that Drag Story Hour has been forced out of libraries, he won't protest the events anymore. But he doesn't call it a victory.
I would categorize it as a wise decision.
He argues the events were a waste of public resources, but in reality, the library wasn't paying for Drag Story Hour. Our center, a local LGBTQ community hub, picked up the tab. Still, Parks and other local conservatives insist the events be held in private venues, which is exactly what Daniels says they plan to do.
If we can move forward, we're going to move forward, and we're going to do even more.
Organizers of the event are now looking for a new place to host the final story hour of the year, which was originally scheduled for early September during Northern Nevada Pride. Bert Johnson, KUNR News.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hey. Are you here for KUNR?
Yes,
Okay.
looking for Bert Johnson.
Bert Johnson is in the newsroom. Do you have an appointment with Bert? Or...
No, he did a story on me the other day though, and
And your name is
my name is Drew.
Drew?
Yes.
Okay, nice to meet you, Drew. I'm
Yeah.
Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Manager.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Cool.
So she's our business and operations manager.
Oh, cool.
So, I was made aware of the story. I don't. You're not in the story.
No, I'm the how did he phrase me? I'm the First Amendment auditor that harmed the library workers, I think is how he phrased it.
But you're not named in the story, correct?
I'm just the First Amendment auditor. It's going to be all over YouTube very soon.
Sure.
And so I'm just wondering why he would say that when I didn't injure anybody.
Yeah, sure.
So why would he reference the First Amendment auditor in harming people
Did you guys want any of
when
I'm so serious. There's
Oh.
breakfast burritos. There's like
Is this all the joint stuff?
chip. This is actually Upward Bound. We had our summit today,
Oh,
and we leave this here so our students grab some on the way out and help us out. But help yourself.
This is the fun. We just had an open house, so we're
Okay.
so
Like ridiculous amount of food, and we're like, what do we do?
Yes.
Thank you.
sea salt is good. It's delicious stuff.
Yeah, get some. Oh my gosh, yes. I'm like,
Please
do.
Yeah. We're here to feed. We're glad to feed. So if you have a concern about a story,
I do. I mean, why would you guys? Nobody was injured.
we wrote a story. We have handled the story.
Nobody was injured.
The quote is from Eric Brown, I believe.
You're so wrong.
So Eric Brown is the one saying that somebody was injured.
We could look at the
Yeah, okay, cool.
Thank you so much for.
So I thought it was
Here.
finding out.
because my goal in getting out into the community and reporting.
What is your, oh, sorry.
No, sorry.
What better way to make an introduction? All right. Thanks.
I'm just friendly that.
My goal is discovering corrupt government.
Sure.
And if you've watched, I don't know if you've watched my channel, I've got a few videos.
I'm not familiar with you.
Okay. My channel's Auditing Reno 911, and I've got a few videos, and I've been arrested for recording and being a member of the press.
So the point of this, so
I think it's the second or the third paragraph
there'll
down.
be an update. So this is part of the original story.
Yeah, I guess
here.
Atha, the
And so
guy
the
from
letter to library staff, County Manager Eric Brown said the Workplace Violence Committee unanimously voted to recommend the events be discontinued for staff safety, despite ongoing efforts by library staff, quote, volunteers to enhance safety measures, including increased security presence, de-escalating training, blah, blah, blah. Brown cited ongoing protests against the events led by members of the Washoe County GOP as a concern. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, none of us are GOP, and the other problem you've got is I did talk to the chairman of the GOP, and he's very upset about the GOP being named in there.
Okay.
He said that GOP has got nothing to do with it.
Well, I think
So you guys may want to reach out to him because,
Victoria Meyer.
Okay.
I'm Ursula,
yeah,
and I'm just,
Right by.
I've only gone to a couple, but,
yeah. But my concern is
but I
you
can,
guys.
I can guarantee you something. He videotapes everything. It drives me
I assume.
freaking batty.
There's this going, there's this
Right.
going, and there's probably another one going you
But
don't
he
see.
does videotape everything.
Oh, that's fine.
So
It's freaking-
when they say that
Sure.
somebody got hurt, I guarantee you it wasn't one of them.
Yeah. So as a news organization, we're going to be reporting on a complicated situation, and we're going to report based on. So you have the county manager saying this, that they discontinue this event because of a
General,
acts.
right, but,
Yeah.
but does he actually say in that letter that an employee got hurt by a protest?
I believe in so many
I don't think he
words. the
says that.
paraphrase is
But-
that there was an injury or the
An injury, right, is
Yes.
what the reporter.
Due to
reported.
me
That's
trying
in
to
the letter.
push my way in. That's not factually correct either.
Hold on, hold on, the point is that Brown's letter doesn't say that an employee was injured. The reporter said that at KUNR. And where's,
well,
Where is that said?
we're quoting the county manager as news
I don't even
organization.
see that in his letter.
Yeah, we're quoting again, if you pull up the story.
Yeah, that's what we were talking
yeah.
about, yeah. We were kind of reading it and then
That's okay. No, it's fine.
because I did read it, but it was a couple days ago, so I could be wrong, but I don't think he mentions a specific.
Well, here's the letter.
Yeah.
Let's read the letter together.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
think it's
Dear Director
self-proclaimed.
Scott, on July 11th, the Workplace Violence Committee convened to address concerns stemming from a recent workplace violence incident at the North Valley Drag Queen Story Hour. And during this event, an employee was injured by a protester, quote unquote. So we're quoting an official letter from our county manager.
Our county
And so
manager.
as a news organization, we're looking at this, and I know facts can change over time if there's an investigation. I understand this is a moment in time, it's a story, we're going to publish it, it's news. Go ahead.
Facts.
Facts don't change.
The truth is the truth is the truth.
Well, yeah, I guess.
People's
yeah.
narrative changes, their words change, but you know what doesn't change?
Video, I suppose, but video is also, it has its different angles, and there's different ways to look at things. But so to get a little philosophical here in terms of journalism, what we do as a news organization is, we have evidence, we base our stories on evidence, and we have to publish and broadcast stories based on what we learn, based on the evidence and reporting that we are able to collect as reporters.
So you publish a story for us in rebuttal?
Well, this is not about an argument. And now, if you have additional, and I believe Bert reached out to you directly
No,
for
he
an
did
interview,
not.
and I
No,
had
he
text
did
messages.
not.
Actually,
No, he did not.
I saw the text messages between you and him, and he did ask you for an interview directly.
No, he did not. He did not. He did not. You're lying right now.
Well, yeah, she showed me text messages and it said,
Well, then he is lying to you, and you should probably get rid of him.
He just sent them.
Unless he just sent them.
I believe it was this morning.
Let's see here. So I've got a conversation with Victoria Meyer. There's Lopez, Sergeant. I talked to Sergeant Catalonia. If you want to talk to him about this whole incident, I talked to him this morning at 10:45 or sent him a text message, but I talked to him at 10:18. Here's Bert Johnson.
Yeah.
Here's my conversation with me to him. You wrote an article that does not match.
Uh-huh.
Here's who I am. Here's my phone number. Here's a post.
Uh-huh.
Here's everything from me to him. Reach out to me to resolve the errors in your reporting, because I'm working on a lawsuit right now and I prefer not to do that.
Well,
so where did he try to communicate with me?
Yeah, and
maybe you can just verify, is that his phone number right there? That I won't put it on my video.
I couldn't tell you right now off the top of my head if that's his number.
But as you can see by my text messages, this is 8:24 a.m., 8:04 a.m., July 25th.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done so far in my text messages. So
Yeah.
if he's telling you that he's reached out to me,
Well, in a response, and I saw it back and forth that if you're available.
not with me, not with me.
Okay.
And I'm
Maybe I'm misremembering.
well,
Maybe it's based on his Bruce Parks conversations.
well,
that he was
perhaps it is, because I did talk to Bruce today too. But here,
we did quote. And would you like to talk to Bert in an interview?
oh, I've been trying to, absolutely. But let me share this with you, because it's just 60 seconds of your time. So what this is, 10 a.m. I should be able to.
Is this the?
This is just 60 seconds of it. I've got hours of it.
Without a minor, like you said, as long as I'm just filming and keeping my mouth shut.
Watch my hands in the mirror.
You're open, okay?
No, we're not open.
You're not open? Hang on.
We are not.
But the schedule says you're open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. today, right?
Story time. Please, sir.
What color of their skin? Look at their skin color too.
That's not people. You're open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. according to the sign, right?
No, not today.
Not today.
It's
So,
posted to Stacy McKenzie, our assistant library director. This
So
is
the
a
whole-
disturbance, and if you make another disturbance, which is outside our code of conduct,
So
then we will ask
this
you.
says that you're open from 10 to 4, though.
We are
So if
open
you're
today.
open from 10 to 4, 10 a.m. It's open now. I could be able to.
So
Hang on. Listen to this.
It's on a company without a child. Yes.
So we're not here to judge what that is. No, that's not our role. As a journalistic outlet, we're here to look at what happened. Well, the Drag Queen Story Hour was canceled. You have the county manager saying because of the Violence Workplace Committees determined that there was an injury of the library. That said, and we also referenced that video in the story as well. And so that has been put out there. As far as if you want to start talking lawsuits, I will have to say.
No, I don't want to. That's why I want to have a I'd much rather conversate than litigate. I'd much rather have a retraction posted.
We will not. I will state for the record right now, we will not be retracting the story, but we will certainly welcome your comments.
Oh, if you want to amend the story or have me in there, because
determine what we want to do with it. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is my part of the story.
Yeah.
So the overall reporting, we will be talking to County Manager Brown as well, because
as you should.
it is us, the protesters, who have been harassed, injured, and otherwise, there's a felony charge that is going to be pending against one of the librarians for locking in my 11-year-old granddaughter
We heard about this
and
story.
refusing to let her out.
That's why they pulled.
So this is why they ended Drag Queen Story
I'm concerned about that.
and the
Not that
controversy.
they got injured.
The controversies around all this, he videos, I video, others video. We have for over a year reams of videos showing our behavior and their behavior, and the story is wrong, completely wrong. And if you watch the videos, you see umbrellas being shoved in our face. You see a reporter being body chucked, an elderly woman. She filed a police report. My husband was body chucked by Jeff Scott, the director of the library. There's a police report on that. I was, it's not assault, it's battery in the bathroom. We weren't permitted to use the bathroom without permission from Jeff Scott. That's all on video. Can I use the bathroom? Oh, no, you can't go in here. It's a public library. It's library hours. It's open. No, you have to go ask permission, like a child. asked permission, got to go in. The woman followed us in. Then she bodily chucked me.
Yeah.
And I have it all on. There's so much evidence that this story is completely inverted.
And why wouldn't you?
And why wouldn't you be interested in these details?
So, yeah, why wouldn't you be interested?
As
I mean, you
reporters,
guys,
journalists.
hold it. You guys should be like, whoa, wait a minute. We need to talk to you guys.
You're going to be very disappointed in my lack of emotional reaction to what you're telling me. And so what I'm here to do is tell you that we're here to listen, and I take what you're telling me. That's great. I'm happy to take that back into a newsroom and discuss that editorially. I'm not going to promise anything right now. I'm not going to say you're right or wrong. I'm not here to argue.
Are you a journalist?
I'm not here to tell you.
Journalism.
Yeah, what we're
Are
here
you
to
a
do is to hear
journalism,
facts, and I'm here to say, like, I hear you.
company?
What I'm saying is I hear you, and I can take what you're telling me, and that's what I can tell
They
you.
do investigative reporting anymore. I'm just curious.
Sure.
What
It's not
I just said is I take what you said, and
It's
we'll check it out.
And let me,
Check it out.
We'll do
What
our
are the avenues that you use generally to check things out?
interviews, reporting, looking. I suppose there's a pretty
There's a plethora
pretty
of
videos on.
So we can
the
expect
website.
to hear, so we can
Yeah,
expect to hear from you.
on YouTube.
You don't. There's no promises. I don't promise anything to you. What I'm saying is, as journalists, we will check things out.
How
and we
did
will
the
determine-
other side get a voice? What did they have to do?
Well, a news event happened, and
This-
and
Brown put out a.
Drag-
So a news
drag
event
queen.
happened. We were on the news
Okay,
last
so we're
night.
gonna put out a news event.
Were we on the news last night?
Yeah, we're on a news.
yeah,
event.
and
We'll be on
I would
again
also say
today.
this too. I would also say this too. I mean, if you want to talk to Bert, I mean,
Yeah, I'd like
just
to.
like from some media training, I could say like showing up. It's not going to necessarily want. We're out here because I don't want my reporters coming out here to be in this situation. I'm the general manager here talking to you because it's my job. This is not an appropriate way to talk to a reporter, I would say, off the bat, just from like and like I understand that's like your thing, but like I would say. So the point is like let's have a conversation, but like
You're arguing conventional mainstream media journalism versus
well we are
versus O'Keefe Media versus
Yeah,
Project
yeah.
Veritas.
we are
And I'm more along the lines of let's go find out the truth as opposed to put out the governmental narrative, which is what you've done is put out the governmental narrative, which without coming and speaking to me, who is that, how did you describe me? That self-described First Amendment auditor. I don't describe myself that way.
I don't think we use that term in the story.
No, it was
in
that.
the KUNR story.
Yes, self-described First Amendment auditor, I believe, were the exact words that you used. So, I mean, you're denigrating from the very beginning
But
as mainstream.
No, I'm still trying to find your.
As mainstream media.
No, I mean,
you are.
I'm literally not saying that self-described First Amendment.
Well, let me pull it up and see what I can find.
Other outlets have covered this well as the RCJ is.
Yeah, and actually, Nevada Independent took it on, and let's see here. So here's the original story.
Self-described.
After a
there it is.
librarian
Yes,
was
there it is.
injured.
There it is.
See, this is where I feel you may be libelous. Decision comes after a librarian was injured when a self-described First Amendment auditor tried to force his way into a recent drag story hour. I didn't try to force anything. I was trying to walk through a door that was already open, and they grabbed it and slammed it on me. The only violence that happened was to me by government employees, yet here you have the government, and you're part of the government because you're funded by tax dollars, perpetuating a lie, and I just showed you a part of the video, and I'll post more of the video later.
Sure.
That's going to show even more.
Sure.
I showed you where the cop said I could even go into the library at that time, right? The cop showed on that video that I could go in the library when I asked him. He said yes.
Yeah, sure. I'm not gonna like to.
No, there is no argument.
Yeah.
The words are the words. And yet here I am being denigrated, self-described. That's not a positive way to describe somebody. Why don't you say some type of media, some type of press? Why are you trying to be derogatory in your journalism without ever talking to the person? I'm pretty well known in the community.
Sure.
I'm easy to find. Why not reach out to me? And then you say you're a reporter tried to text me and you said you saw text messages. I just showed you my phone where I've definitely texted him. So he may have some integrity issues that you may want to dig into, or he may have some media bias that he's pushing onto the story as opposed to remaining a neutral party.
I hear you. That's all I can say is I hear you.
I appreciate you listening. That's all that I can ask. I don't expect you to agree or disagree. Just listen, go back and think about it.
Sure. Yeah.
And think who's being truthful here.
Yeah.
The guy with the camera that's not afraid to put anything out there online and post what he does.
Yes. So I will bring this back into the newsroom. We'll talk about it. I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm going to say thanks for coming by and telling us your 2 cents. I would recommend
call him back and let him know.
Have Bert call me since he wants to talk to me. He said he wanted to talk to me, so have him call me.
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to say I'm going to take this back into the newsroom.
Just asking if you call.
Yeah.
him back
Trying
and
to-
let
I
us
understand
know.
that.
I'm not trying to argue with you.
It's an
I asked you a question, is all.
Okay, just
Hey,
So-
what?
I hear you.
Okay. So you can't answer it.
I'm not going to promise anything.
Wow.
So, and can I point out that your story came out at 5:42 p.m. on Friday, so it was
Wednesday.
And the library board and Jeff Scott did not get the letter from County Manager Brown until 7:45 p.m. I'm just curious how that happened.
I can tell you the facts on that. I don't know what happened.
Well, you might want
And allow me
to
to
want to investigate that.
allow me to share some other information for you just to listen to. So, the United States Supreme Court just decided a little while ago that government cannot block people from social media. You recall that?
Yeah.
And it actually started in the Ninth Circuit years ago. And we've got Jeff Scott recording on my camera, and what he said is he's blocked me from the Washoe County Library social media sites, and I'm not special. He's done that to many other people. So what we've got a rogue library director that's blocking the public from the public forum that the county operates. So that's one issue right there that you should probably question. Why is that going on? Because if it can happen to me, can it happen to you? Can it happen to you? Can it happen to any one of us? We talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? Yet how is this inclusive when we're blocking people just because we don't like them politically?
Mm-hmm.
Number two, Jeff Scott committed the crime of battery on me. I filed a criminal complaint with Sparks PD. That criminal complaint got moved over to Washoe County Sheriff's, and then it got moved back to Sparks PD. In the last year, they've done nothing on the complaint. Why would they not do anything on that battery complaint? And as an example to that battery complaint, several days before that, I was down at the DMV recording. And I had another incident where an allied security guard pretty much came up to me and did what Jeff Scott did to me, which was laid hands on me. Mm-hmm. This allied security guard was prosecuted and sentenced in Washoe County. So why would Washoe County sentence and prosecute an allied security guard that laid hands on a cameraman for simply recording, but they ignore Jeff Scott laying hands on? Now, again, freedom of press. There's a lot of case law on this. Fordyce versus Seattle, Glick. I'm sure you may be aware of these cases. They're largely First Amendment, but they apply to you too, running a media organization, press. Is the government or a government actor permitted to interfere with the press in any way in a public area? As long as they're acting quietly, calmly, and not disrupting anything and just quietly recording. Sure. And that's all that I do. If you watch my videos, I will engage, but I'm generally very low key. I'm always very polite. Mm-hmm. And now if you compare my demeanor with a man named Chili DeCastro, I don't know if you've been watching his story down in Las Vegas, but Chili DeCastro.
Very online. So,
Chili DeCastro is another First Amendment auditor. And what he does is he's very, very obnoxious. He's very, very loud. And he cusses and curses, and he got arrested, and he got sentenced to 6 months in jail by a Clark County judge.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen versions of this come up over time. Yeah.
And just recently, that whole conviction was just overturned in Las Vegas. So the problem is the press, the First Amendment, or if you know the Nevada Constitution, Article 1, Section 9, freedom of press there, is being pushed down, depressed, and only certain people are allowed to speak, and generally those are the people in the government that are allowed to have their voices heard, or a member of a certain political affiliation or political belief, whereas other people, and KUNR denigrated the GOP. The GOP has nothing to do with any of this. So I have to look at it from a mainstream media perspective of where the mainstream media historically has backed the liberal Democrat side of the political agenda and tried to push the conservative Republican side down. And again, no conservative Republicans were involved in this as a party. Maybe I'm affiliated with the Republicans. I definitely am. I ran for office.
And I believe you did too, right?
Yes.
Recognize your faith.
Yeah. And my name was left off the sample ballot. Isn't that amazing how the Constitution says the sample ballots are supposed to be accurate, but we don't do that here? Anyways, there's a few more things for you to look at. Why are we blocking social media by the library? And why is the librarian, the director, laying hands on people pushing? And not just me, he pushed him and many other people. And why is our sheriff not investigating?
Children inside the library and not investigating any
I'm
of
going to
this.
tell you right now, we don't have those answers for you.
I know you don't.
I don't.
No,
But you can investigate.
Yes.
You can go try to get public records, and maybe the county will give you public records easier than they'll give me because they don't like to give us records.
I appreciate it. And if this is going to be on YouTube,
There will be.
hi, Mom.
Say hi. We're all there.
Yeah, thank you for coming by and expressing your take on all this and your concerns about the coverage. I take that in stride. This story will continue to be covered.
Good.
It'll evolve over time. I can tell you that.
Good.
Because this is going to be a story that I think has legs.
I've been working on it for over a year.
Yeah, and so we have a commitment to continue to cover these issues because it is of community importance. We recognize that, and that this is I don't know how else to put it. I mean, it's in the public's interest to continue covering this matter. So
we would
Agreed.
appreciate if you would cover our side once in a while.
Equally.
You know, that's
We just don't
every
wanna be
single.
placated. That's what it gets us upset. It's like we just get served up and just, no promises. It's like,
Well, no. So there's been 6 or 7
so far.
6 or 7 news stories,
That's
and they
what-
all say the same thing, except the Nevada Globe. She did it better. She did a fairer job of at least making a longer story. But every story, from RGJ to KUNR to This Is Reno to every story is the same. It's the same words even. Is that what we're calling journalism today, or is that communism?
we don't.
Is that a communist violent propaganda?
They are covered based on their ARGA.
Who owns them?
or-
I'd like to know who owns
RGJ?
these people
Can
that
I-
aren't journalists that call themselves journalists.
Yeah.
Because every story is the same from Wednesday to today. It's the same words. Where's the other side? Where's the fair treatment? Where's fair and balance? Where is journalism?
Where's equity?
Where's equity?
Where's inclusion?
Where's
No,
inclusion?
this is you guys are on university. campus. This
diversity?
turned into like a Socratic,
Where's the
Ask your questions now, man. Don't you have any? Like, where's my fairness?
Well, that's what university's for, is asking all these questions and coming up with answers.
And what I'm not here to tell you is we will do our best to cover, to get as close to the truth as we possibly can, knowing that we never will fully get there. It is always going to be a journey,
Oh.
and it takes time and effort and
Thank you for
relationships.
that.
And it's
Thank you
not.
for
I
that.
agree.
It's not. There is no such thing as the truth. There is a journey to it. And maybe one day we get close to it. But,
That's all we can ask for. I appreciate it.
so that's as best as I can promise.
So-
I can tell you that is our.
I will
okay,
say
so
this
you're
to
saying
you.
we will get closer. That's what I'm hearing you
will
say.
always
I
get close.
There you go.
appreciate that answer better than what you said earlier. I totally do. I
Well,
really
what I
do.
say is I cannot promise that we will act on anything. I cannot say that there will be a phone call of any kind of sort. We do want to reach out. I do.
Well.
I can say that we will reach out. The phone number that you have, okay. But if there is, I should also temper too that if there's a threat of litigation,
There's only a threat of litigation if we don't communicate. And litigation is used to communicate when the other communication fails. That's how I look at it. And what I'm seeing is I've been trying to communicate, and your reporter told you he was trying to communicate, but obviously there's a breakdown in that system somewhere.
and I still,
So if
regardless of
Just
whatever.
look and see.
Yeah.
just have them call me. I don't think I'm a mean person, am I?
Not normally.
What I'm saying is like we will take this information back in there. We will make our decisions based on what we think is best for the station, which includes our pursuit of the truth and, taking your comments in stride. And, what I can't say is what exactly will happen. I don't. But
No, we never know.
I can say,
Just make an effort. That's all I ask.
Videos
I understand.
too.
I understand that. I'll check it out. What's the channel called again?
Auditing Reno 911. And if you go back a year, you'll go find that there are 2 other videos at the downtown library from the 2023 story time with transsexuals. And then there's the where Jeff Scott laid hands on me from, I think that was July, at the Sparks Library. And that's the one where I filed a criminal complaint against Director Scott. And again, the government does nothing to him, but yet they prosecute an allied security guard for the same basic type of incident. And you can see all those stories on my channel, or if you just want me to forward them to you, I'll give you license to use them, not a problem.
Sure, you're free to
And I've got the same. I have a YouTube channel concerning residents of Washoe County. And on that site are videos.
I'm familiar with that, yeah.
There's a journalist, a local journalist, who was on campus at the Sparks Library last year, and she was physically pushed by an attendee. Nothing's been done to that person either. And the video of the gal asking permission to use our public libraries during open hours when the doors are locked, she couldn't get in and had to ask permission. That's on there also. And lots of other videos showing how we just try to weave our way through the crowd and do videos, and they push and shove umbrellas in our face and block us. And
Gotcha.
so
Tell them to
that's
go
the
back
other side
to
of the story, and it's on video. Handily.
I will tell you something that I found funny. They told them to go back to the free speech zone.
Told him to go to the free speech zone in an open parking lot. He was in one area, and they said, you need to go over there in the free speech zone.
Because I witnessed, they trespassed me and then they took away my library privileges for a year. So, wow, really, I didn't know that. I thought the free speech zone was everywhere in the United States of America, not.
I just found that funny. That was something.
And if
I
you
used
think,
to work
you know
in
anything
law
about the history of
enforcement. To me,
libraries?
it was funny.
With Ben Franklin and libraries and the Constitution and free speech. That's what libraries were really for, was free speech. Yet, now we have free speech zones in libraries as opposed to, anyway, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Stop bothering you.
We hope you'll be interested in the other side of the story.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Didn't mean to.
Oh, no, you're fine. Man. Take it easy.
Have a good man. Good talking to you.
Yeah, take it.
Like I said, have them call me. I'm not an evil person. All that I want is our Constitution to be upheld. And to you guys as press, that should be paramount.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.